Hey, what's going on, everybody out there on YouTube? It's your boy LB, aka Mr. Nelson 89, back at you guys with another CD update, vinyl update. Got some new CDs in the past couple of weeks. Thought I would show you what I got, so let's go ahead and start this off. So the first CD I have right here is Flying Lotus, Los Angeles. Originally released in 2008 on Warp Records. Yeah, this is Flying Lotus's second album, and I believe this was like his breakthrough album. I think this is the record that really, where Flying Lotus really started gaining a lot of attention, and where people really started to recognize and take heed to who this guy was. A lot of people say he's responsible for the whole, what they call the whole beat scene in Los Angeles that's been happening for the past probably 10 years or so, man. So this is his second album, breakthrough record. Really interesting. This is the third Flying Lotus CD I've bought. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say bought. But yeah, this is the third Flying Lotus CD I've bought, and I just got it in today. So so far it's a pretty interesting listen. Very experimental hip hop, electronic music. This is before the whole jazz influences started coming into his music, which he started experimenting more with on Cosmogramma. But yeah, Flying Lotus, Los Angeles. If you come across it, hey, pick it up. Alright, so and next I have Kamasi, Washington, the Epic, man, released this year, 2015, probably like a couple of months ago, I believe. But yeah, this is his debut solo album. It's a jazz album. Kamasi is a saxophonist. This is his band right here, known as the West Coast Get Down. And what's interesting about this CD is that it's actually a three CD set album. Like, it comes with 3 CDs. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the songs on here, they range from anywhere from 12 to 14 minutes long. So it's 3 CDs. There's 6 songs on each CD. Well, there's 6 songs on the first 2 CDs, only 5 on the last one. But man, I've been listening to this album all week. This is all I've really been listening to lately. Not too much of nothing else. It's just great jazz music, and I've told so many other people about this release as well. And it's just a remarkable album. It's easily like the best jazz album to come out this year. So if this record doesn't get any rewards or anything, then somebody's just hating. But great jazz music. If you're a fan of jazz music, go ahead and check this out, man. Great album. And let's see, right here, this is Rancid, Indestructible, released in 2003. This is their 6th album, and it's their first album on a major label. Somewhere around 2002, Rancid, they signed a distribution deal with Warner Brothers Records, and because of that, this album got a lot of backlash from diehard fans, because Rancid is a punk band, and for most of their career, they were signed to independent labels such as Epitaph and band member Tim Armstrong's own label, Hellcat Records. So they signed a distribution deal with Warner Brothers, I guess to get their album to a wider audience, is what most people felt they were doing. And they got a lot of backlash from a lot of diehard fans. People criticized them for that, and because they felt that this album had more of a poppier sound because they had backing from a major label. And it's also the first Rancid album to have a parental advisory sticker on there. So I'm sure Warner Brothers had something to do with that. But to downplay all the controversy, Warner Brothers decided that their logo or anything would not appear on this album. But it's a decent album. It's pretty good. I think it's a solid record. Maybe not one of their best, but I definitely enjoy it, man. I was listening to it all last night, pretty much. But it is what it is, man. Some people, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Personally, my favorite Rancid album is Life Won't Wait, but it's still a decent album. I don't think it's terrible. But hey, if you come across it, hey, give it a try, give it a chance. Don't just overlook it because of what a few hardcore fans may have thought. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so right here, this is Prince and the New Power Generation, Diamonds and Pearls, released in 1991. So this is the first album where Prince actually credits the New Power Generation, his second backing band after the Revolution broke up. He actually introduced them on the previous album, The Graffiti Bridge, which was a soundtrack album to the movie, which I guarantee you the soundtrack is way better than the movie. But yeah, this is the first album where he credits them along with himself. Diamonds and Pearls, the title song, was a huge single back in the 90s, huge hit. Other songs on here such as the rock song Cream, Money Don't Matter Tonight, which had a video directed by Spike Lee, and Get Off was also a huge hit for the clubs. But I guess one of Prince's best albums in the 90s, because we all know that Prince, man, he had a fluctuating like career in the 90s. You know, he dropped some pretty decent and wonderful records in the 90s, but then also he dropped some duds. But you know, of course, a lot of that had to do with, you know, him having issues with his label Warner Brothers. But this is one of those crowning achievements I think he dropped in the 90s, and I think it was a great start. So definitely check out this for all my Prince fans out there. Okay, and the last CD I have right here is No Doubt. This is their self-titled debut album, released in 1992. Of course, we all know Doubt. They were a ska punk band, rock band from, I think, Orange County, California. But this is them in their earlier days when original member Eric Stefani, which is Gwen Stefani's older brother, when he was a member of the band, him and another guy named John Spence were actually the guys that really formulated and came up with the idea of No Doubt. And of course, John Spence, he was the original lead vocalist, but he committed suicide when he was 18 years old, right when the band was supposed to perform for record industry executives at the Roxy Theater, I believe. But yeah, this is their debut album. Wasn't a huge seller back in 1992, mainly because of the time that the album came out. It came out in a time when grunge was the forefront of rock music. Of course, you know, Nirvana had blown up. Bands like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden were dominating, and other bands were catering their sound towards grunge and, you know, selling big, man. Grunge was the main thing back then. And their sound contrasted with that, because they were doing ska punk, new wave, pop rock. Interscope didn't like it. Album only sold 30,000 copies, and Interscope pretty much relinquished all support of the record. So Tony Kanal, the bassist of the band, he said that they initially was going to release this album independently because they recorded it and finished it before they signed to Warner Brothers. But I mean, not Warner Brothers, Interscope. But when Interscope signed them, they took the advantage of re-recording the album in a professional studio. But he says, looking back on that, he wished they had just went ahead and just released the album independently, because with Interscope not supporting them, this record pretty much was an independent release, because there was only one single from the album called Trapped in the Box, in which the band had to use their own money out of their pocket to actually film a video, which you can find on YouTube. And they had to fund their own tour. It wasn't until they did their second album, when they signed to Trauma Records, called the Beacon Street Collection, where the band began to like receive support, because that album sold 100,000 copies, and then Interscope started paying attention. Then that's when they dropped Tragic Kingdom, and you know, that's where the band blew up. But this is No Doubt in their earlier career, so if you're interested in checking them out in their early career, hey, start here. Now time for some vinyl that I have. Oh man. Alright. Okay, so first vinyl I want to show you right here. This is Rancid. Hope you guys can see that. This is Rancid, Life Won't Wait, released in 1998. This is the band's fourth album and their last for Epitaph Records. Yeah, this album right here was a departure for the band. You know, most of their previous albums were based around pretty much just street punk, and of course with And Out Come the Wolves, they started adding ska punk to their repertoire. But this album right here, they really took it up a notch. They not only retained their punk roots, but they put more of an emphasis on ska and reggae. And there's also elements of hip hop and dub and rockabilly on some songs. But this is my favorite Rancid album, mainly because of the music. A lot of people compare this to The Clash of Sandinista, but honestly I feel it's more along the lines of London Calling. But whatever you may think. But this is really cool. It's a double vinyl. I want to show you guys the vinyl, because it's on orange vinyl. I want to look. The vinyl is orange, man. That's really cool. Double orange vinyl. I thought that was so neat, man. But double orange vinyl. Thought that was really cool. Hold up, having a time getting it back in there. Here we go. But yeah, this record right here I think this was like Rancid's best album, not only musically because it showed their musicianship, but also because lyrically, man, these guys are really like socially conscious and socially aware on this album. Very political. You know, they talk about the Illuminati, which is interesting because this record came out in 1998 and they were talking about the Illuminati on this record, but not in the sense of how the Illuminati is discussed today, where people are saying Jay-Z and Kanye West and all these celebrities are part of that. They're talking about the Illuminati as we all know, the powers that be, the people that are probably, you know, running things and manipulating things in this country. And we all know who that is. I don't think I need to really say the name. I'm trying to be careful here. I don't want the FBI looking for me. But anyway, they talk about government corruption, conspiracy theories, and also they talk about police brutality on songs like Wrongful Suspicion, which is also one of my favorite songs. But there's also some personal tracks on here. Tim Armstrong has a few songs on here, which, let's see, I want to say, yeah, Who Would Have Thought, and Corazon de Ora. Those two songs were written and inspired by Tim Armstrong to his marriage to Brody Dow. Hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She was the front woman of a punk band called the Distillers. Her and Tim had gotten married around this time, and there's a couple of songs on here that are inspired by that marriage and his love for her. But of course, we all know that they got divorced around 2003, which I should also mention that on the previous CD I showed you, Rancid, Indestructible, a lot of those songs are inspired by her as well, because her and Tim had gotten divorced around that time. And songs like Fall Back Down was a song that was inspired by the disillusion of that marriage and how he was really heartbroken. Apparently she cheated on him with the guy from Queens of Stone Age. I think his name is Josh Homme. She had an affair with him on Tim. She cheated on Tim with that guy, and it really broke his heart. But yeah, some of the songs here are inspired by their recent marriage. But very dope album, man. Check it out. If you don't check out any other thing by Rancid, check this record out. Highly recommend it. Alright, and let's see right here. This is Teena Marie with Emerald City. Hope you guys can see that. This is Teena Marie, Emerald City, released in 1986. I don't exactly know which number album this is of hers, because she has quite a discography. But this came after her like hugely successful Star Child album back in '84, which had one of her most well-known songs called Lover Girl. But yeah, this came out in '86. I don't know too much about Emerald City. I've done some research on it, but at the time that this record was released, it wasn't a huge seller. A lot of people felt that Teena Marie she took a different approach. She was mostly known for her R&B and soul type songs, but this record right here, she took a more of a different approach, where it was more, how should I say it? It was more freestyle, which was a genre of music that was real popular in the 80s. I guess like dance pop and pop, and a lot of her core fans were kind of turned off by it, and it wasn't a huge seller at the time. But I listened to the record, and it's not that bad of an album. You know what I'm saying? It is something different from her, but it's not that bad of a record, man. So, if you come across it, man, you can listen to it, check it out. It's not that bad of a record. I think it's actually pretty cool. Alright, and the last vinyl I have right here is Sade with Promise, released in 1985. This is the band's second album, and also this record was also a huge hit when it was released. Probably the songs that I know from this album is, of course, The Sweetest Taboo and Never As Good As the First Time. Both of those are songs that still get major play on the radio. I hear them quite a bit. Sweetest Taboo, I remember the first time I saw that video. My mom, she had a VHS tape where she recorded a bunch of videos from BET, and Sweetest Taboo and Never As Good As the First Time were both on that tape. But definitely a dope album, very smooth jazz, adult contemporary, sort of ambient sounds. I mean, it's great 80s music. 1985, man. I mean, Sade is really cool, man. And I used to go to school. I went to school with a girl that actually looked just like her, man. But very dope album. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Hope you've enjoyed this CD vinyl update, and I'll try to get back at you guys with some more updates, because if Lord's will, let us see tomorrow or whatever, I'll probably go to the record store and find some more vinyl or whatever. I know I got another CD that's coming in the mail that I can review for you guys and give you the lowdown on that, man. But hope all is well with everybody out there, and as always, love, peace, and music, and be blessed. Peace out.